Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to the dig. Now I want to hurry up a little bit more, so we'll hop right in. We're investigating the asteroid after we blew it up slash maybe stabilized its orbit. We found this tunnel, they're calling it. I would probably call it more of a trench, but maybe it is more of a tunnel. Uh, I suppose we could talk to
Robbins,
Robbins
this is Low. Do you read?
and see
Robbins here. I read you.
if there's anything like new to ask as far as questions or say something profound, but then I think we're probably gonna start holding back on these things until we actually need a hint. I think it's our hint system more than anything else.
See anything interesting?
Everything here is interesting.
Hmm.
But it's Brink who actually understands what he's saying.
So I might get a little bit of
Hard to believe
information and
this
a little bit of
asteroid just
hints.
happened to come visit Earth.
Almost as if somebody decided our sky wasn't interesting enough with just one moon.
See, I don't see a reason to talk about Brink. I don't understand a reason to talk about the flying pig. It seems like
Low out.
pretty much Brink, we know Brink's abilities, we know his skills, and so we've got some odd projections. We have a metallic plate. Uh, Metallic plate seems odd. It's odd projection.
I think you're right, Brink. The stone projection isn't natural. Yes, but what is it doing here?
Here we could go to the flying pig if we wanted to. I don't see a reason to.
It's the pig.
It's the pig. I feel it's kind
Brink,
of.
I wish I knew what these odd projections are.
I've taken pictures of them for analysis.
Feels like a 90s thing to do to have this this tool called the pig and personify it. It seems in 2016 modern times I wouldn't particularly feel too interested in that. Let's click on Earth and see what they say there. Uh, I wouldn't name my equipment. It's way too easy to break and replace equipment these days. My cell phone, for example, changes all the
It's
time.
comforting to know we can return home in safety.
So every line of dialogue seems to indicate that we stabilized the orbit of the asteroid. If we could actually stabilize an asteroid in orbit of Earth, we would be rather happy about it. We'd be a little bit happier if we could stabilize a
Look at this,
comet,
Brink. This
if we
can't
could
be
stabilize a comet, but an asteroid would be really nice too, uh, as long as it didn't ruin the tidal lock or tides of our planet, or do something else unexpected.
An artifact? But who could have put something like this in a tunnel?
Yes, I think it's clear. Wherever Attila came from, there was someone there.
Could this be part of some kind of message? Like the one NASA put in Voyager.
If it's a message, I don't understand it.
Whatever it is, we've got to tell Houston immediately.
Negative, Robbins. I'm clamping down total security as of this moment.
You've got to be kidding.
You've been telling me all along you just want to be an ordinary member of the mission. I've had secret orders all along to look for any sign of alien presence on this rock.
Really?
And now that we've found it, my instructions are clear. What I want to hear from both of you right now is, I understand, Commander Lowe.
I understand and agree, Commander Lowe. There is nothing to be gained from a premature announcement.
Robbins.
I understand, Commander Lowe.
Ken, Lowe here.
I read you, boss.
Tell Houston that I said Attila's a real hunt.
What? Is that some kind of joke?
Just tell them, Gordon. You'll receive new communication protocols immediately afterward.
Oh, cool. This is like a secret code.
Just thank Cora. You're the only one in Congress who knows anything about this.
Houston says the message is received and they're transmitting new codes.
We're getting back to work down here, Ken.
So all of a sudden,
Giving this baby a little push.
If that doesn't work, Commander, give it a big push.
all of a sudden, everything changes.
The plate just dropped down inside something.
The plate is gone?
Like, secret mission, orders change, top secret things. Well, it's probably not true. I would really, really like if there was evidence of alien things for NASA to leak that information immediately. I would hope the scientists there could realize very quickly that if they don't just release it not as fast as possible, as long as it's good, confirmable evidence, not just something that will later embarrass them or disprove them, which therein lies the rub, because that you'll never have 100% guarantee of that. But if they withhold it just long enough so that any other government agency gets their hands on it, they will be so overpowered by Congress, presidents, CIA, FBI, whoever, that they would never be allowed to release that information. So that they would almost certainly have to break some rules, because there'd be so many interested parties of, oh, national defense, we can't tell people about this, it would cause an uproar type stuff. Let's go in the shaft.
It's a small dark opening.
The other thing that I was talking about, if we did have an asteroid parked around here, it would give us so much research information. Because we don't know the compositions of asteroids, and they're probably going to be different based on which asteroid you're looking at. But there might be a lot of minerals in an asteroid that are hard to get on Earth. And it could be a mining extravaganza. Very useful, very scientifically useful, very economically using. Well, use the flashlight with the small shaft.
It's a small dark opening.
I don't get it.
Standard issue flashlight. It's a small dark opening.
Small dark opening.
It's a small dark opening.
Let's talk to... See, we didn't even talk to Miles.
Miles, this is Low. Do you read?
I read you, Lo. What is it?
We didn't even order her to be silent.
How long will the pig hold out as a light source?
Plenty of time. If it starts to run low, we can pull my baby up to the surface and let the solar batteries recharge.
Low out.
Now that's an interesting issue in itself. The truth of it is, if they were in actual direct sunlight, they would get burned up, so they would almost certainly be in darkness, if not total darkness. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Let's see, shovel with the small shaft.
It won't accomplish anything.
I didn't think it would. The 0G digger with the small shaft.
It won't do anything.
And the flashlight with the small shaft.
It's a small dark opening.
Robbins, this is Low. Do you read?
This is Robbins.
I guess we need to ask questions and talk to him again. I was going to try to avoid that.
It means that military secrecy is probably going to stop the scientists of the world from studying one of the great secrets of our time.
Thanks for your help, Robbins.
Relax, Commander. I know it isn't your idea.
Don't worry, Robbins. The secrecy won't last for long. We just have to have some idea of what we're dealing with before we take off the lid.
I'm as eager to know what these metal plates are about as you are.
So far it's almost forgivable, the secrecy. It's not like they've immediately just
Low out.
said you're gonna forget everything you saw and we're returning to Earth
Slow, do you
and
read?
we're gonna destroy all evidence
Brink here. I read you.
or something like that. It still feels that they're just being cautious.
If it's not a message, then what is it?
It could be anything. Discarded garbage, a doorway. Maybe the message is simply not visible to our eyes. I don't know.
Yeah, that is possible. I guess they're...
I'm thinking of giving this sucker a big solid push.
So far, your instincts have been good, Commander.
I guess
Oh,
it
well.
is possible to make like infrared writing.
Brink, I wish I knew what these odd projections are.
Maybe I need
I've
to...
taken pictures of them for analysis.
Maybe they need to be lit up. So maybe I use the flashlight on the odd
It won't
projection.
accomplish anything.
And we have our basic, it won't accomplish anything for any action that the game did not specifically write dialogue for. But still they voiced that. So we'll probably get a little tired of listening to him say that if we
It's
get
comforting to know
confused.
we can return home in safety.
Let's go back to the surface, I suppose. Sometimes these old point-and-click adventure games did have a problem of you would click somewhere you were going to go, and then it would show you an animation of them walking there, and it would be just this incredibly slow amount of time to get there. And then you would really not want to make the decision to move somewhere after a while, because you'd just be in this weird scenario. There's no leaving this though. We're on the surface. So we can be on the surface or we can be on the crack. Maybe we'll get new codes from this guy.
Borden? Come in, Borden.
This is Borden.
We kind of need a hint from somebody.
Anything from Houston?
No, the tracking stations report that everything's fine so far.
I can't wait till I get up there and tell you what this is all about.
Oh, take your time, boss. I'm only going crazy up here, not knowing anything about what's going on.
We got this background noise.
Things seem to hold up pretty well in the nuclear explosions.
Yep, every now and then, the lowest bidder does it right.
Low out.
So we got Brink, we've got Maggie, we got Miles, we got Borden. Notice he's also using different names. Like her name is Maggie Robbins, but he's just called Brink either way. So it's gotta be in the crack down here. Did I just click on the small shaft?
It's a small dark opening.
Let's click on the flying pig.
It's the pig. I can't go any further down this chasm.
Brink, I wish I knew what these odd projections are.
I've taken pictures of them for analysis.
See if this
I may be
works.
criticized for it later, but I'm gonna dig out one of these odd projections.
It's your decision, Commander.
Okay. It's a metallic plate.
I'm going to push another one.
I wish we could be sure we weren't destroying whatever message they meant us to receive.
It seems to me that if they didn't mean us to push these metal plates, we wouldn't be able to push them.
Good point. Unless this is just some kind of push these 3 buttons here and they will blow up the planet. Well, we finally figured out what we were supposed to do. Making shafts of different sizes also is probably
It's another metal plate.
is a good
I
idea
wish there was some sort of inscription.
of like figuring out how big the creature is that you're trying to communicate with. So if you make a small shaft, small creatures could fit through that. If you make a large shaft, large creatures could fit through that. This is like a triangle. This is a rhombus. This is kind of
Here's
a
number 3.
trapezoid, I think.
It disappeared too.
Here's another odd projection. I guess we'll just keep on doing this. It's almost like a code.
We're 3 for 3 here, folks.
I've heard of putting a message in a bottle, but never in a big rock.
What shape is this?
Here's the last one.
Well, we've done it. Whatever it is we did.
So we've got these different shafts sizes. It feels like there's no more to do. Can we walk in this shaft?
It's a deep hole into the rock.
I think we gotta go through the dark tunnel that is here. So it kind of feels like all these are unnecessary, or they're gonna prove to be necessary when we get inside this tunnel as light sources.
Well, here goes nothing.
We're with you, Commander.
Another great animation cutscene. Somebody put some real time in this. Maybe they hurt their budget to make the game itself, but I like cutscenes every now and then too, so I can't argue against
So,
having them, having transitions.
Time to update Houston. Load a shuttle. Static. Must be all this rock.
We're cut off. Should we go back outside and call them?
Nah, they can sit tight for a few more minutes while we poke around.
So, the asteroid is empty. We've got a pedestal. What do we have to click on? This place is huge. So we can see from perspective as the tiny pixelated characters get even tinier and even more pixelated. It seems like there's nothing here. There's the tunnel in, there's a vent, and there's a pedestal. Seems to be that there's no real gravity here at all, which is, I guess, understandable. Being hollow and being not as big.
Small vent leading back to the outer chamber.
So I guess we have to go to the pedestal. There's nothing on the edges as far as moving to a different area. Notice how the game plays with scale quite a lot. Most video games play with scale and you never notice. It's like, oh, in this scene it's going to be really close up, in the next scene it's going to be really far away. Oh, we did need each one of these metal plates. We have to assemble them into a puzzle. an actual puzzle in this game. Wow. Let's grab the plate. And put it here.
These plates probably fit together, but how?
Plate it. I want to put it at the plate on top.
These plates probably fit together, but how?
Oh, left?
These plates probably fit together, but how?
Bottom? Interesting. So you only get one choice. I kind of wish all the plates were further, were all on the screen and connected that way. It seems like it's gonna be super easy to do this puzzle and there's not gonna be a lot of challenge or interactivity with it. Let's see. If it's gonna do this, we'll stick it at the top like that. Ah, that's very geometric. Take this. So this could be a basic intelligence test. Oh. Sorry, just dropped my controller / microphone that I talked to, so it went silent there for a second. I noticed it, however, so I wasn't actually talking while it happened. But it could be a basic intelligence test that could be either to limit your communication with alien species that are smart enough, or maybe blow up species that could be competitors if they're too smart. There was a Star Trek episode about that. Regardless, it's a video game, so we have to do whatever they're going to tell us to do. Turned it into a triangle. Feels like they're trying to speak some basic geometry here.
I'm moving.
Oh, there's a whole engine moving it with no parts. That's quite a feat. Oh, the whole thing just got destroyed into this. Into a dodecahedron or something like that. Some kind of dedron. And we get transported far, far away to a new planet. So it might have been some kind of probe to bring intelligent life to your planet, which would be a good move. I'd much rather bring aliens to Earth than have to go from Earth to aliens planets, at least for the first trip.
I feel like someone turned me inside out twice.
It's a little difficult to move now.
That's because we've got gravity. Planet-type gravity. We're not inside the asteroid anymore. And the pressure is equalized. There's an atmosphere.
Can we breathe it?
Our suits are checking that automatically. There we are. Yes, it's at least as breathable as the air in LA. Of course, there's always the danger of airborne infectious agents.
I don't think so. Alien microbes should be no threat to us. They
See,
have not
that's
evolved to make use of our cell structures.
a grave
The oxygen in our
generalization.
suits won't last long anyway.
That's a much better argument to take your helmet off.
I say we take them off and save the remaining oxygen for the return trip.
If there is a return trip.
Yeah, tastes good.
Surprise, surprise. Attila was a spaceship all along.
A starship, faster than light. We're not in our own solar system. No planet but Earth has an atmosphere like this, and this ain't Earth.
After so many years of bad TV shows and crackpots with phony pictures, here is the real proof. There is alien life.
Low to cockpit, over. Low to payload, over. Yeah, I'd say we're out of range. Way out of range.
I don't see any aliens coming to greet us.
For all we know, it might have been 1,000,000 years since these people sent out Attila, and they long since died out.
I don't know about you, but I didn't pack a lunch.
Or a can of pop.
Well, we might as well look
Pop.
around and learn what we can about this place. We might be here a while.
So, yeah. We are in a new pickle, but it's an opportunity for learning, I suppose. Good move to now lose the suits. We can clearly now tell the differences. Our main character's in a black shirt, has a little white in his hair. I can't believe they even got that detail in there. You can see his eyes for the 2 pixels they use for his eyes. Brink's here. Well, can't click on Brink's, but a Brink here. Over here, for some reason, is in the white gray shirt and light hair, and then we have Robbins, who's in the black hair and full orange shirt jumpsuit thing. So that helps a lot with the visuality. We got some nice looking plants. We've got this platform. Everything's coming up roses. I suppose we should search for everything if we need anything from these. That's your standard I don't have anything to say about this response?
I guess this isn't a natural geological formation, right, Brink?
Look how close the stones fit. Like ancient Peruvian masonry.
So it's primitive.
There was nothing primitive about ancient Peruvian masonry, Commander Lowe.
So we could, I suppose, talk to Brink.
Brink.
Let's see if we have new questions and new profound things to say.
How are you doing, Brink?
You mean apart from being trapped on an alien planet with no idea of how to get back?
Yeah, they're going to keep everything short and sweet, but we will have to have these conversations every now and then.
This is a pretty desolate place.
Whoever once lived here, I think they are long since gone. So much dust. Undisturbed except by our own feet.
What's weird is Steven Spielberg worked on these, and I think he also worked on Contact. And I'm not sure he didn't work on at least one of the 2 blowing up a asteroid movies too. So it's like he got his ideas set up for this game, and then he was able to pitch from this game the movies that got made, which I guess is a good idea. That's what we're still doing today. There's an Assassin's Creed game coming out very soon. Usually video games to movies don't succeed very well, but in this case, since it's a sci-fi story at its heart, sci-fi stories and movies tend to succeed.
Can you make any sense of what you see here?
A good archaeologist doesn't expect to make sense of things until he's been digging at a site for years.
We don't have years.
Maybe years are all we have.
That's not good.
I hope you can figure some way out of this place. I don't think we'll be able to climb these walls.
Oh, they might be stuck in a canyon.
In my years of studying rocks and ancient sites, I learned that sometimes the best way down is up, and sometimes the best way up is down.
Yeah, well, I hope that made sense to you, because it sure didn't make any sense to me.
So we may have to find a cave or something. Let's ask about Robbins.
Brink, how does Maggie seem to be holding up?
She seems to be fine, Commander.
I'm okay.
We all have to watch out for each other.
So they totally hear her talking there.
Thanks.
So we can talk to Robbins too.
Robbins, you doing okay?
Oh, I'm fine. This is the greatest story of my life. The only trouble is, I have no way of telling it to anybody.
So only one question, that's good.
This place is as desolate as the Midwest.
Almost as desolate as the Midwest.
Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
If only I had ruby slippers.
Yeah, I really like this extra dialogue. It's a shame that you have probably dozens and dozens of opportunities to miss some of this dialogue. Uh, Having to trigger it seems so odd. Seems like it should just be said at random intervals as you're playing the game. Instead of having to ask questions or say something, it should just be like, when you click on an item, you start a conversation up and have that conversation go for a few minutes. Or if you're just standing around for a while, you start to have the conversation automatically. Or just as certain events happen, you have conversations. And we do have that too, it's just there's so much dialogue.
Maggie, does Brink look okay to you?
So far, he looks fine.
I'm okay, Commander. Thanks for your concern.
We all have to watch out for each other.
Interesting, he can never talk about himself or ask about himself.
Thanks.
Because he's the player character. The only thing that we've been told, well, very few things we've been told about the commander. He's supposed to be cautious, he's in charge, and pretty much nothing else. Interesting. So there's a clearing over here that we'll have to investigate next time. There's a platform here, and that is, I think
I
it.
wonder what they use this for.
It's like, so clicking on the platform, they could have at that point had the conversation about the masonry and then said, I wonder what this is used for, and then have multiple lines of dialogue one time play versus having it split between two actions and potentially repeating yourself. Although this game is doing a very good job about making it clear when you don't need to click the button again and have them say the same things. Anywho, that's where we're going to end. We are really, really, really surprisingly only making it through like two scenes. I don't know if this is just because there's so much dialogue and so much story going here. This feels more like a book than a video game at this rate. But it's doing a good job of giving and feeding me the dialogue, so I'm not upset about it. I like it fine. It's just by modern video game players' standards, we would have been so far ahead. We're an hour and 30 minutes into this game and we've just landed on the planet. And I think there's a lot more to this, so it's very interesting. Very interesting, the pace. I think it's going to pick up. I assume it's going to pick up. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.